سيعلمون ثم كلا سيعلمون ألم نجعل الأرض مهادا والجبال أوتادا وخلقناكم أزواجا وجعلنا نومكم سباتا وجعلنا الليل لباسا وجعلنا النهار معاشا وأنزلنا من المعصرات ماء ثجاجا لنخرج به كلا سيعلمون ثم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم عم يتساءلون عن النبأ العظيم الذي هم فيه مختلفون كلا سيعلمون ثم كلا سيعلمون ألم نجعل الأرض مهادا والجبال أوتادا وخلقناكم أزواجا وجعلنا نومكم سباتا وجعلنا الليل لباسا وجعلنا النهار معاشا وبنينا فوقكم سبعا شدادا وجعلنا سراجا وهاجا وأنزلنا من المعصرات ماء ثجاجا لنخرج به حبا ونباتا وجنات ألفافا إن يوم الفصل كان ميقاتا يوم ينفخ في الصور فتأتون أفواجا وفتحت السماء فكانت أبوابا وسيرت الجبال
Growing a little tired of all the roaring.
This time I'm going to be an antelope.
How you learned that there was a time and a place for everything, even when you're just pretending?
إلا حميما وغساقا جزاء وفاقا إنهم كانوا لا يرجون حسابا وكذبوا بآياتنا كذابا وكل شيء أحصيناه كتابا فذوقوا فلن نزيدكم إلا عذابا إن للمتقين مفازا حدائق وأعنابا وكواعب أترابا وكأسا دهاقا لا يسمعون فيها لغوا ولا كذابا جزاء من ربك عطاء حسابا رب السماوات والأرض وما بينهما الرحمن لا يملكون منه خطابا يوم يقوم الروح والملائكة صفا لا يتكلمون إلا من أذن له الرحمن وقال صوابا ذلك اليوم الحق فمن شاء اتخذ إلى ربه مآبا إنا أنذرناكم عذابا قريبا يوم ينظر المرء ما قدمت يداه ويقول الكافر يا ليتني كنت ترابا. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والنازعات غرقا والناشطات نشطا والسابحات سبحا فالسابقات سبقا فالمدبرات أمرا يوم ترجف الراجفة تتبعها الرادفة قلوب يومئذ واجفة أبصارها خاشعة يقولون إنا لمردودون في الحافرة إذا كنا عظاما نخرة قالوا تلك إذا كرة خاسرة فإنما هي زجرة.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Wala Idris Kasumu. Assalamu alaikum. Wala Idris.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
You can start now, sir. I have the floor now.
We welcome everyone to the last edition of this webinar that you and I have been waiting and craving for. We welcome us in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whatever is going to be discussed here today, Allah should allow make it beneficial for us in the hereafter. Now, without much ado, I welcome everybody once again to the program. My name is Idris Kasum. I shall be the host and the MC of today's webinar, the Congress Professional Webinar of Lagos State. It's a monthly webinar it's more like a series that comes every month. And like I said, this is the last edition for 2020. The Kudratullah will be having the program between 4:30 and I think about 6:30. So inshallah, we will not take much of our time. We want to advise and indulge us to please get our notes and writing materials. And for those of us who we want to record, you can. Okay, sorry, I just realized I was there. So like I said, I was to this glorious gathering, the gathering not for divine intervention alone, but for us to also know how, as Muslims and as non-Muslims, we can actually benefit ourselves in terms of investing in what is just close to us or close by us. So the program is ready to last for 2 hours, between 4:30 and 6:30, and we have a lineup event already. So we'll be starting immediately with the opening prayer from Malam Abdullah Trimizi, that's the Congress Professional Secretary. We want him to give us an opening prayer. Is Malam Abdullah on?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. We give praise and adoration to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who in His infinite mercy has granted us the light of today. We beseech Him, we are done to shower His noblest of mercy on the noble soul of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, his household and companion, and those who tread his path till the day of reckoning. We pray to Almighty Allah to count us among the successful, both in this life and the hereafter. Again, for this month, we commit ourselves to Almighty Allah to grant us hikmah, sakina, fahma, and make it a hujjah for us, both in this life and the hereafter. We pray to Almighty Allah for the effort of our fathers in bringing the Congress professional to limelight. May we achieve much more success than their expectation, both in this world and in the hereafter. As we pray that Allah would guide their tongue in delivering the best of lectures for us today. ربنا آتِي نفوسنا تقواها وزكيها أنت خير من زكاها أنت وليها ومولاها ربنا لك الحمد بما خلقتنا ولك الحمد بما هديتنا اللهم قبضت عدونا وأظهرت أمننا وجمعت فرقتنا دعوانا فيها سبحانك اللهم تحياتهم السلام وآخر دعوانا ربك رب العزة الكريم.
Now, Jazakumullah khairan for that beautiful prayer. We pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept it as an act of ibadah from us. Now, the next thing will be for us to go to the recitation of the Quran, which will be done in two versions. The Quranic version will be recited by Malam Muhammad Thani Akombi, and inshallah we'll have my very own brother and my pal, Malam Ismail Lawa, to give us the English version. So Malam Thani Akombi, Muhammad Thani Akombi, is he on the line?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. MashaAllah, Bismillah, sir.
Surah An-Nahl, verses 8 to 5. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم والأنعام خلقها لكم فيها دفء ومنافع ومنها تأكلون ولكم فيها جمال حين تريحون وحين تسرحون وتحمل أثقالكم إلى بلد لم تكونوا بالغيه إلا بشق الأنفس إن ربكم لرؤوف رحيم والخيل والمغال والحمير لتركبوها وزينة ويخلق ما لا تعلمون صدق الله العظيم.
Now, Jazakallah khairan for that. Malam Ismail Lawal, sorry, let's have the English version, please. Bismillah. Admin, please kindly help us unmute Malam Ismail Lawa.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Just open your video, please.
Surah An-Nahl, verses 5 to 8. And he created the cattle for you as a source of warmth, food, and many other benefits. They are also pleasing to you when you bring them home and when you take them out to graze. And they carry your loads to distant lands, which you could not otherwise reach without great hardship. Surely, your Lord is ever gracious, most merciful. He also created horses, mules, and donkeys for your transportation and adornment, and he creates what you do not know. Sadaqallah al-Azim.
Jazakallah khairan for that, my very good friend and brother, and my father, like I said. So, the next on the line, we will be calling on the Congress professional chairman, the chairperson, but for the Wali is supposed to be the one to do this for us, but is unavoidably absent with excuse. So, Kudratullah will be having the Congress professional chairman who will be giving us the opening speech, the welcome speech.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. All praises and adorations are due to Almighty Allah. Let me start by giving thanks to Almighty Allah for keeping us alive till today. We pray accept it from us as sort of worship. Amen. Our keynote speaker of today, Mr. Ismail Akintayo, who is an economist from University of Ibadan and also an entrepreneur and a farmer. All other guests on board, I say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa
Rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
I feel so honored and delighted to welcome you all to this December edition of our monthly webinar forum, the 6th of its kind. Most of us that have been following us right from inception realize that it's been a series-like webinar. We started from the various skills that we need as an entrepreneur to survive a pandemic environment. Thereafter, we treated assessing funds and how to manage those funds in the light of successful businesses. Today, by the special grace of God Almighty, we want to focus on agriculture with particular emphasis on snail farming. You will recall that about 2 months ago, when we treated assessing CBN funds, some of the areas that the Central Bank of Nigeria wants us to channel those funds is agriculture. And of course, you will also agree with me that some decades back, agriculture used to be the mainstay of the economy. It has contributed largely to the GDP of this country. But today, reverse is the case. Reverse is the case because of the discovery of petroleum. It has been said in the Quran that animals are there for us. Farming is part of life. It puts food on the table. It is therefore very important that we pay serious attention and take to heart some of the useful pointers on this very crucial discourse. We seek to keep in tune with favorable and new possibilities in our chosen career aspirations. This is indeed the ultimate goal to which TCP is deeply committed. At TCP, we have quite a number of activities, entrepreneurship drives, networking, uplifting potentials, connecting our stars, and I want your indulgence, your attention. I'm not in doubt of the capability of our resource persons who would do justice to this cause. Just give your rapt attention as it takes on the topic of the day, which is practical snail farming. The practical approach we need to start a snail business, to survive a business of this kind, is going to take us. I pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide him as it's on topic. And I also implore us once in entire TCP, the Wali of the Muslim Congress and the entire executive members in council. I welcome you all again, and I say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khairan for that beautiful welcome speech by our chairman. We pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase you in knowledge and understanding and also guide you as you continue to direct the affairs of this noble organization. Now, without much ado, if it are we know that today, inshallah. So sorry, Chairman sir, I want to believe that we have people who do not speak Yoruba among us, so that we know if it's strictly the lingua franca or we can do Amudumala. Apology for the non-Yoruba speaking participants. Sir?
Strictly English.
Okay, now, inshallah. Okay, so like we said, the chairman has actually briefly introduced the guest speaker for today, an erudite snail farmer, an economist of repute, somebody who did a bit of background research off before coming here, and I realized how much he's blessed and how much he still wants to achieve in life. So I want to implore us, like I said earlier, to get our note material. Somebody is already asking on the platform if there will be recording of this session. Of course, the webinar started, it's being recorded right from minute 1. So, but notwithstanding, we still need to get our writing materials for us to be able to, put something down. In the course of writing something down, that is when questions, and whatever you want, your own contributions come in. So we implore us as well, and as Muslims, it is important and necessary for us to always get a pen and a note to jot things down when such a lovely event is, or a lecturer that is about to go on. So the guest speaker for today, our lecturer for today, our facilitator for today is no other person, like I said, but a CEO of the merchants, the Merciful Merchant, and that is no other person than Mr. Ismail Akintayo. Mr. Ismail Akintayo is the founder and CEO of Merciful Merchant. He is a snail farmer and a Greek business consultant. His portfolio actually interests me. Having also covered, I'm a journalist, so I've actually covered a bit of Agric in the past. And although I still have interest in Agric, my wife is also a farmer. Do not a snail farmer, but I'm sure at the end of this conversation, at the end of this webinar, I'm sure I will want to probably use my next salary to invest in snail farming. And there's one thing about snail farming. There's one myth. I hope it will be corrected today, or I hope we'll have maybe I'll put it as a form of question to our facilitator today. There's one myth. I don't know if it's a general or a Nigerian thing or a national or a worldwide or global thing, that when women are pregnant in this part of the world, especially in the Yoruba land, they will say, don't eat snail. Then, while I was growing up, I've heard this, right? Don't eat snail. If you eat snail, your child will be slow. Anything she wants to do, your child will be. I want to know by the end of this lecture if that is actually true or not. Before I will know I'll go into snail farming. So, inshallah, we'll bring on board our Chief Executive Officer of the Merciful Merchant, Malam Ismail Akintayo. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Malam Akintayo, sir.
Okay, hello. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Can you hear me now, sir?
It's a bit faint. I don't know if it's from my own end, but yes, I can hear you, but it's a bit faint.
Okay. Sorry, let me try to improve the network.
We can hear you.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi.
Wa alaikum
salam.
Can you hear me now, sir? Hello?
Yes, we can.
Okay,
alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala rasulullah.
Your answer.
Okay. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most merciful and the most gracious. We seek his honor and blessings upon the noble of our prophets, Nabiyina Muhammad. Prophet Muhammad is also his companion and the totality of Muslims until the day of resurrection. Ameen. Much has been said about my profile. I won't like to repeat myself, but I would just like to start the discussion with the title that I gave the invitation when I share it with my friends and family online. Are we together?
Yes, we are.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Actually, I noticed that it is time to pay back. Some of my colleagues have been putting questions to me. What is my intention when I wrote that this workshop is going to be a payback period for me? And it's going to, the workshop is going to be a payback in two forms. Actually, I acquired the knowledge about snail farming like 11 years ago or thereabouts while I was doing my NYSC then. And our state government then facilitated the training for us. The knowledge was acquired free, but the ability to put it into practice was also acquired free. Let me put it like that. It means that I acquired the knowledge free based on the finance of my state government then, or your states, under the administration of Alawakala. I always remain grateful to him for the opportunity, because I will share the reason later by the grace of God. Also, the payback will be, okay, Okay. Am I audible enough now? Hello, sir. Am I audible enough?
Yes, yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Okay, because I'm using two gadgets. I'm trying to use my phone and my laptop. I want to confirm which one is working well. Hello?
Okay, I
You
want to
can
know
use
if you
your
are
laptop.
using your phone to. You want to use your laptop to share some of the materials, some of the screen sharing you want to do. I guess that.
Okay. But are you
Then
are
you
you
might probably use your phone. I can see you have a hands free with you. You might probably use
yes.
the microphone of your hands free so that
Okay.
the audio can come out well. You probably mute one and unmute the other. Since you are connected on both.
Are we together now?
Perfect. Now the audio is better now, sir.
Okay. I said that's the first aspect of the paying back. But the second paying back, to be honest and to be frank, I I would say it was due to, my commercial snake farming was due to the funding that I got from Sakat and Sodako Foundation. Not as a Sakat recipient then, but we actually went for business plan competition, and I was fortunate enough to be among the prize winners then. And that was actually the commencement of my snail farm in full commercial scale. It means that I'm going to be forever grateful to the organization then, and those people that also organize the business plan competition, because they were the real uh, engine room or the starting point of my commercial snail farming. That is the reason why I say I'm going to take this training to be a very important one. It is important to me because I'm going to pay back what I received freely, and I've made a lot of money from it first. It's also pay back to the organization as well, because I understand as a captain, so that call perhaps it's a child brain of this organization. If I get it right, it means it's going to be a very tough training for me because I just have to pay back to them. They were the backbone of my commercial snake farm. And alhamdulillah, I'm forever grateful to them, and I pray Allah to Subhanahu wa Ta'ala to reward them abundantly. Let's
Amen.
start the program. Why snake farming? When I started my own snake farming, I will try to be practical a bit, and I'm going to use my personal experience. Though my intention is to spend 1 hour on to cover the whole training, but I would like to use my personal experience to expatiate to the points we have on the slide. In 2009, if I did not make mistake, when we were called, the youth were called for youth empowerment program. People were choosing various vocational skills. Then I decided, let me go for snake farming, because I observed that the participants there then was not much, but I could therefore let me just go and learn the basic of snake farming then. And with the personal hobby that I have, I love rearing things, I love taking care of things, I love studying the nature. I acquired the training, but when we started practicing the snake farming, I got to know that okay, snake farming may not be the right choice for almost everybody, and it's because it requires a lot of patience, it requires a lot of attention, though not too much money. Okay. Okay. Somebody is writing that the volume is not yet encouraging. How? Hello, sir. Hello.
Now we are on. Just continue. In my hand, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
Sir, are you using your phone now, or you are still using the system?
I'm using the laptop. When I tried to use the phone, I could not. I'm not sure that you can hear me. You are hearing me then.
I can hear from my hand now.
Clear.
If you cannot hear him, let's see it on the chat so we know the number of people
It's
or
not
that kind.
audible. It's not audible enough.
Is it possible you increase the volume, sir, from your laptop? To pick using the audio over the internet, calling over the internet.
Yeah, that's what I.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead. Don't let disrupt. Please go ahead.
Sorry. I want to check it out. How is it now?
Let's move on, sir. You are good.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Let's start. On your mark, get set to be a snake farmer. As I was mentioned before, I said I actually choose to be a snake farmer then because I love rearing animals and I love taking care of animals. Then I also observed that there were not many participants in that group. Then I love to be in that group. Perhaps I'll be able to acquire the knowledge, put it into practice, and also be able to be one of the forces to reckon with when it comes to snake farming. And alhamdulillah, I was able to achieve that. It means that any one of us here can also do that. Okay. On our slide, the first point to discuss now is I wrote on your mark, set, get set to be a snake farmer. Done. The intention here is that we need to know a little bit about the attribute of a farmer or whether want to choose to be a snake farmer. Though the intention of this program is going to be a roadmap to help us choose our course, whether we should be a snake farmer or not. I assure you, since I want to pay back, I'm going to show the best routes for us to take so that we can avoid mistake that many people we are making here. You know, there were a lot of misinformation online about snake farming. There were a lot of noises there, here and there. Personally, I call them informatias, people that sell information and they are not real snake farmers. We are to correct some of these misconceptions that people might have about snake farming. And I also mentioned that snake farming is not an easy pie. It's not going to be a very easy thing for us to do. One of the reasons why it's not an easy pie is that it takes a long time for snake to become to reach maturity. And the bitter truth here is that the demand for snail overshadow the supply. Therefore, there is a problem on the supply side of the snail industry, and it has been something of headache to we that we practice snail farming. Therefore, it's not an easy pie. Whoever wants to triumph here in this venture should really work on the supply side. You can leave the demand side. I always say it. You can leave the demand side, work on the supply side. As I talk now, as of today, like 2-3 people have called me. They are in need of snails. The demand is not the issue. The supply side is the issue. Therefore, whoever wants to make money here should really work on the supply side. I'm going to teach or tell us how we can act that. But let's note it. Note that word. Demand for snail overshadow the supply for snails. It means demand is not the problem. One of the reasons why I chose the differential when I started. Once demand is not a problem, then where do we have problem? The supply side. And the supply side seems to be problematic because it takes time for snails to grow. That's just the bottom line. That's just the bottom line. But there are ways that we can also act into that. Okay, the best thing that also you need to achieve success in snail farming is that the snail farmer should acquire the basic knowledge about rearing snails, likewise the business aspect of snail. The basic knowledge about how to rear snails. When we say basic knowledge, basically we are talking of, okay, how do you choose suitable species to rear? Okay.
Right.
Somebody. Okay, hello. Hello. Okay. I said when we talk about the basic knowledge about snail farming, we are talking about how to choose the right, the suitable species to rear, where to ask them, what to give them to eat, and how to nurture them throughout their life cycle. These are the basic knowledge that whoever wants to go into snail farming should acquire. Also, it is not only that whoever wants to succeed as a snail farmer the person has to be strong. and it has to be committed and dedicated to achieve success here, because we are taking care of animal that has the trait of slow, slow in everything. Slow, they are snails are very slow in everything. But what I know about this venture is that if you are passionate about it and you are diligent about it, I can assure you, you can really make millions from it. You can, the, whoever try the venture will make millions from it if it is done diligently, passionately, and with special interest in snails and their activities. Okay, that about what being on your mark, or what does it require to be a successful snail farmer. Let me recap it again. What it requires to be a successful snail farmer is that make sure that you acquire the basic knowledge about it. Let me chip in a particular point here. When I started out as a snail farmer, sincerely, I chose 2 days to study snail every week. And I did this thing for like 1 or 2 years. I will do that online. I will also go to meet people that are snail farmers. Are we together? Hello, sir.
Now, now.
We are with you. We are with you.
Oh, interesting.
We are with you.
I said, well, I'm trying to itemize what it's required to be a successful snail farmer. And I say, whoever want to practice snail farming, because I'm sharing this based on my experience. Some people just say, oh, Malam, once point of play, we'll sell it to them. The next question will be, how will I cater for it? I say, haven't you acquired the knowledge before starting the snail farm? Therefore, whoever want to succeed here, make sure that he acquire the basic knowledge. And I gave an example that when I started a few years ago, sincerely, almost I chose 2 days, Tuesday and Thursday. I will read anything readable about snails. I will, maybe on Tuesday, I will read. On Thursday, I will visit people that are snail farmers within my localities here. Then we rub minds together, and from them, I gain a lot of ideas. And I also, sincerely, I was able to gather some success, critical success factors that can aid whoever wants to practice snail farming in a commercial form. Okay, let's move on to the next topic. Why snail farming? Why snail farming? I've made some point about why we should choose to be a snail farmer. But let me recap it. He said there's one good business that falls under agriculture regarding meat production. And the one that I know that whoever anybody can do, ordinarily as an economist, we should also try to look for a product that we can sell to people when demand is overshadow the supply. It means that we'll be able to dictate the price and we'll be able to make much money from it. As regarding snail farming, in the meat industry, one of the snail is a very delicate, or it's a delicacy that people are always anchoring for. Let me give an instance. I have an eatery that I supply every week, every month. When I go through my record, I observe that this one of the eateries, their sales with me every month is over 1 million. But at times when I advertise my snail online, people say, how much are you selling your snail? If I ask them, 750, some people say, how many? I say, one now. Do you understand? But the idea that people have about snail is that why it should be around 300, 200. This year, I can say categorically that it is the year that I experienced high price in snail. We sell our snail, mature snail, as low as 950 naira, or more than that. What I'm trying to point out here is that one of the reasons why we should choose snail farming is that the fact that demand overshadow the supply is enough for us to choose snail farming. The fact that demand overshadow the supply is enough for us to choose snail farming. Not only that, snail is a veritable means of generating income, and it's a means of achieving self-sufficiency in hard times. It's a means of achieving self-sufficiency. When we get to how to make money from snail farming, we see why we should choose snail farming. But what I'm trying to point out here is it's a veritable means of generating income. At least I can say it boldly that we are making money from snail. Sincerely, we are making money from snail, but we have to do it right. Whoever wants to make money from snail should do what I mentioned before: acquire the basic knowledge and find out about how to do the business of snail. Snail farming simply means breeding snails in large quantity for people consumption. It may not be your own personal consumption, because I think I'm talking to the participant that wants to go into commercial snake farming. But if you choose to rear it for personal consumption, you can say snake farming is about mass breeding and rearing of snakes in captivity for sole aim of making profit. That's my own definition for it. Mass breeding and rearing of snakes in captivity for the sole aim of making profits. I said a very interesting fact about snail is that 300,000 tons of snail meat is consumed per year around the world. 300,000 tons of snail meat is consumed per year around the world. Basically, as I know from people that usually export snails, I know two categories of people here in Ibadan. They export snails. The volume of snails that they buy every month is around 7,000, 10,000 to 15,000 each of them. Hello, sir. Are you with me, sir?
You're on track, sir. You're on track.
Okay. I personally, I say from my own personal experience here, I know like two categories of people that export snails here in Ibadan. Each of them buy snails that worth 5 million of snails every month. I'm quite sure of that. They export snails around 10,000 to 15,000 every month, so that we can actually know how people consume snails around the world. Not only that, snails have economic value. It is very close to cash. Snails is very close to cash. Very, very close to cash. If you have 1,000 snails now, just advertise it online that I have 1,000 mature snails. You see, people will rush to buy it from you. Not only that, even just take it to a restaurant or to an hotel, I'm quite sure that they will buy it all. It means it's something it is like a liquid asset. It is like a liquid asset that we can easily convert to cash at any point in time. At any point in time. Because there is high demand for snails meat in eateries, hotel restaurants, and people usually we can easily exchange our snail for money. Not only that, I've mentioned that before, snail is an export item and one of the sought after items in international markets. I've sold snail to Canada, USA, and many countries. Do you understand? It is an export items, and you can check it out. Just go to one of our airports, you see people exporting snails day in, day out. And it means it's snails that would export materials to earn foreign exchange, either as a finished or primary goods. I mean, either raw snails or processed one. Okay, let's move on to the next discussion. System of snail farming. System of snail farming. Basically, there are three systems of rearing snails. There are three systems of rearing snails. We have intensive, extensive, and lease or semi-intensive systems of rearing snails. Don't forget, snail farming is about rearing snails in captivity. And let me quickly mention a particular point that we need to know here, because I want to make sure that I don't spend more than an hour. The particular point that I want us to know here is that each of these systems has its own peculiar characteristics. But the critical success factor here is that make sure that if you want to choose to rear snail, make sure that you rear snails in such a way that the captivities is very much close to natural environment. Let me repeat myself. The critical success factor here, when it is time to choose the system of rearing snails, that choose a system that is very much close to natural environment. People pick snail up from wilderness, from the bush. They love forest environments. They love to stay within the grass or beneath the crops and the likes. The best system that you can choose, I've tried two of the three systems, but the critical success factor here is that choose a system that is as much close to their natural environment. Okay, let's quickly talk about the three systems. The first system is that we have intensive. Intensive simply means rearing snails indoors. Using standard case system, or just make sure that they are in captivities within your own confinement. Maybe I rear my own snails within our environment. I have my cage within the compound where I live. This is the system that I adopt, or the style that I use most time. Intensive means rearing snails within your confinement, within your environment, making use of cage, or you rear them very close to where you are. And the attempt here is to recreate the natural habitat of snails and provide them with everything that make their growth conducive for them. When we choose indoor intensive or indoor system, it means that we are going to create a natural environment for them. You have the cage, you put your soil inside the cage, you get the plantain leaves to mush, and you are the one to provide them what to eat. That is intensive. And most times it is a system of rearing things indoors within our environment, within a compound, whether we live there or we don't. The other one is extensive. Extensive is opposite of intensive. It is rearing things outdoor. Maybe okay, I think there is a cage here. These are my cages. These are two cages that I constructed when I started rearing them in commercial form. I've used many cages before that. Okay, I said intensive or extensive is opposite of intensive. Here, snails are reared outdoors on pasture or in open space. Or we make use of something like a greenhouse to rear snails. We make use of something like a greenhouse to rear snails. We put them in a large environment. But don't forget, you have to enclose this environment in such a way that they can't escape. Maybe you have a plot of land, you can use iron mesh or barbed wire to something that looks like greenhouse to create natural environment for them. But the bottom line is that you plant what the snails eat there: cocoyam, plantains, pawpaw, and many vegetables and the likes. Therefore, you just leave them. They wander around themselves. They are not in captivity really, but they are not free as well. They are not in captivities really, but they are not free. They are not, because they are great escapists. They always look for a way to escape. What you will do is to make sure that that open environment is escape free to snails. They can't leave that environment. And sincerely, if you nurture snails well, from experience I know, within my company, if I allow any of my snails to go around, I will still pick them up again, because they live around where they get source of livelihood, where they get food. That is extensive. We put them in large area enclosed by fences that are escape proof. Yes, something like this. And let me mention a point here. This is more exclusive to to Western countries, to the Europes and the likes. They make use of this method. I will say from experience that this seems to be the most suitable means of rearing snails. Based on experience, it seems to me, though we always have this argument within ourselves, those support that we rear snails, which of the system is the preferable or the best. But I will say extensive system of rearing snails seems to be because of my own personal experience. At times when any of my snails is weak or sick, I will take them out and put them in the open pasture. I have a plot of land in front of my house. I will just put them there. Maybe after 3, 4, 5 days, when I pick them up, they look much healthier than before, and they look ready. And they were not fed there. There is nobody to take care of them. But one thing that I noticed is that they know which grass is best for them to eat. And they know which grass is best for them to consume when they are sick or not. Therefore, to me, the extensive system of rearing snails seems to be the safest means of rearing snails. And it's more peculiar to the Europe. They use something like greenhouse to rear it. The third one, I've tried this one out again, semi-intensive or mixed system of rearing snails. This take the characteristics of both intensive and extensive. They are not in much captivity. They are given freedom. But the major difference here is that when you are doing semi-intensive, you are combining crop production with snail rearing. We are combining what? Snail farming with crop production. Let me give an example. We have our snail farm, maybe it is in open pasture. We plant pawpaw, maybe in large quantities. Snail eats pawpaw as well, but if you do it well, you can also sell the pawpaw to make money. That is mixed system of rearing snails. You are rearing snails, and at the same time, you are rearing crops that they eat in a large quantity that you can also make money from selling those items. That is simple definition of semi-intensive or mixed snail farming. It involves rearing snails alongside growing crops for feeding snails and selling. And with actually this, there's a pen here. If you go to the next slide, you see a picture of a particular house. We did this one in Abuja for a client. Actually, this is the beginning of the project. The house is meant for rearing snails. Do you understand? The outside here, we are planting crops here. You can see planting there. Pawpaw is also there. We also use this space to plant vegetables so that snakes can eat from these items, and at the same time, we can also make money from these items. This is an example of semi-intensive or mixed snake farming. We mix crop production with rearing snakes. Actually, when I went back to check this environment, all these planting have grown up. Pawpaw are there already for them. Okay, next is to talk about the area of specialization in snake farming. This is one of the most important aspects of our discussion today. This area talks about how you can make money from snake farming. How we can make money from snake farming. There are many ways we can make money from snake farming. The first one is that ordinarily a snake farmer does not have to invest from breeders, point of play to table size farming. And the person can specialize just on segment of the snake trade. We have the snake industry is also very large. We have the valuation of snake industry is very large. Okay, let's see the secure means of making money from snake farming. The first one is that you can engage in direct snake production farming. Direct snake production farming means that you can generate great income as a snake farmer. And what you do here is that for anybody to do this one, because I'm going to give the intention is to give out the breakdown of how to make money from snake farming. Whoever want to choose this line, whoever want to choose this area of specialization, we need to rear snakes for like 2 years. The last video that I showed over before we come to this slide, the person that owns it have it on 2 acres, 2 plots of land. I think I have a video on that. This is just one of the pen. We constructed 4 pens for him, and all we are like this one. And the intention, as I got to know from the owner, is that they want to rear it for 2 years, so that at least rearing snakes for 2 years will help them to have ample snakes. One, and not only that, they'll be able to sell any snakes of any age. They can sell point of play, breeder, medium size, jumbo, if they are able to do it for just 2 years. I said, yeah, snake farmer snakes could be sold at any age, depending on the farmer's choice. One may decide to sell ashlings, the new ash, or the snake babies. We can sell growers, breeders, point of play, or table size. This is the first one, or the first means of making money from snake farming. You can be the snake, you do direct snake production. Your aim is to rear snakes in such a way that you have them in various categories and in large quantity. That is the first one. The second method here is buy and sell method. And this is how to hack snake farming. If you cannot rear it for 1 year or for 2 years, you can't wait. I cannot wait to do that. I cannot wait, to be honest with us. Actually, this should be this method. I discovered it based on the guidance that I have, or on the guidance that I have from my mentor. Then, when I won the Sakat and Sodako Foundation business plan, I was asked to do the cash flow analysis, and I got to know that the 1 million I gave to me will be finished or will get exhausted within 4 to 5 months. Then, where will I get money to rear my snakes again? How will I get money to continue the snake production? Then I think, okay, I have to reinvent. I have to think outside the box. Then I got to know, okay, oh wow, can I study what those women in the market do? They buy snake, they sell it, and they are making money from it. They are able to make fortune from it. We all know that in agriculture, middlemen make more money than the farmers. Hello? In agriculture, middlemen make more money than the farmer. It is known fact, and it is something that we can't. It is not easy for us to defeat this fact. Then I think that we can also make money from it by doing buying and sell method. What do? There are 2 ways of making money here. You can buy snakes during the glut period, and that is during the rainy season. You fatten them for a while, and then you sell it, and you make your raw cash. Sincerely, it's very easy. You buy it during the glut period, you rear them for a while, and then you dispose your snakes. Just like buying a cow, or what they do in the poultry like this. Some people will rear, some people will buy eggs, they will ash it. I don't know the terms that they used to call that. Some people will, okay, day old. Some people will stop at the day old. They will sell it. Somebody will take it up from day old to maybe to become broilers or layers. The same thing is also occurring here. Buy and sell method, you may decide not to breed snails, but rather choose to engage in sourcing young and middle-aged snails from snail farmers or gatherers, then sell at a profit after fattening them for just few months. This is one of the ways to make money from snail farming, and it's also an area of specialization. Okay, the third one is snail breeders production. A farmer can also choose to produce a particular size alone, breeders. Then your target customer will be the upcoming snail farmers. Your target will be what? The upcoming snail farmer. Okay. Snail breeder production is one of the most lucrative aspects of snail farming. The turnover is around 6 to 9 months. You get small, you buy small or baby snails, you rear them for 6 or 9 months, then you dispose them to people that will use it as their foundation stock. And snail breeding can yield quick money if the farmer understands the nitty-gritty of modern techniques and rear the types of species that are in high demand in markets. The next one is to do integrated farming. I think I've explained integrated farming. You rear snail one side, you also rear crop at another side. The next means of specialization in snail farming is snail food production. Snail food production. We can formulate feed for snails and sell it. I know some guys that usually do it and they make a lot of money from it. Then other means of making money from snail farming is services and exports. You can actually, if you have the knowledge about snail and you read over time, you can consult for people. You can help people in setting up their farm at a fee. And this is also one of the means of making money from snail. Likewise, exporting. One of my key customer called me, maybe 2 or 3 days ago. He said he needed to export like 5,000 to 10,000 snails this month. I told him snails are very scarce this day. We may not be able to get. Said, let's do our best. Even if it's only 15 that is able to realize from it, that is going to make cool money. And I was just like, hey, you want your target is 7,000. If you make 15 on 7,000 snails, that is like 350K. And I know that I'm quite sure that he's not going to tell me the actual profit that he made from exporting. Therefore, whoever wants to make money from snails can also consider exporting snails. There are markets for snails outside the country. Let me just give us whoever has the wherewithal can do this. If you're outside the country, just sell to people that have hotels or restaurants outside the country where they sell Nigerian food. They will buy from you easily. I've once exported snail, but I don't have the much resources to do that. These are the secure means of making money from snail farming. I've mentioned like 5 or 6 or 7, and these are areas of specialization in snail farming. I would advise whoever wants to choose to make money from snail farmer should study these categories, and maybe you choose 1 or 2 areas where you direct your effort on and you make your money from it. The next is to talk about common breed of snails. I mean, what type of snails are we supposed to rear? In Nigeria, in Nigeria and Africa altogether, there are 3 popular snails. There are 3 popular or 3 most popular snails, and they are acatina, otherwise known as AA. We also have Acacatina marginata, otherwise known as AM, and we have Acatina pulica. These are the 3 known or 3 major. There are many species. I think snails are like 100 or more than that species. But the most one, the top one or the most popular one that are edible and that we can use for commercial purposes are just 3. Let me repeat it again: Acatina, Acatina fulica, and Acatina marginata. These are the 3 breeds of snails or edible land snails. But when it comes to snail farming in Nigeria, they are the 3 most popular. And all the 3 are suitable for commercial purpose. But one has more value and is more profitable than the rest, and that is Acacatina marginata, AM. And that is what our father in Yoruba land, they call it Igbi or Igbi. A is called Ilako, and the other one, Fulika, is called Ason. You understand? they are in that category. AM is the most priced or the highly priced. AM is the highly priced in the market. At least this year, mature giant AM goes for 1,000, 1,002, or 1,005, depending on where you are buying it. Whereas AA, the maximum that they can sell it is 400 naira, the biggest one, the maximum, the highest price so far that I know. The remaining one, the AF, which is called ASAN, they use Congo or bucket to sell it. It's not that profitable, and that's why most of us, because I'm in this business to make money, I don't really have something like that. I prefer to go for something that will fetch me quick return on my own investment. These are the three most suitable species of snails to rear. Let's talk about each of them with their little attribute and contribution. I've talked about Acacatina marginata AM, and it is otherwise known as big black giant African land snail, and it is peculiar to West Africa, and it is the largest of all the snail species. A fully grown giant snail AM lay this out of the three that I mentioned now. AM is the least prolific. The production of AM is very low. Perhaps maybe that is the reason why it's command high price in the market, because it lays 8 eggs. I want us to note my point. Please, I want us to note this point. There is a misconception here. People that do advertise online, they will say, rear 20 snails and become a millionaire. No, it is not possible. Not confound. You just want to, it is, I don't know, I call them infomercials, people that sell information just to make money and they continue lives. They don't want to mislead people. Those snails that, okay, we'll talk about it later. But my point here is that the most priced snails in the market is AM, Acacatina marginata. And it is the least prolific among the three categories. It lays on the average, from experience, 8 eggs every 2 months. Not every month. 8 eggs every 2 months. But it is possible that a fully grown AM can reproduce itself at least 20 times in a season. I actually arrived at this calculation. Okay, if it lays 8 eggs every 2 months, it means in a year we have 12 months. It's going to lay 8 times 4, 48 eggs. We have to give room for how many eggs will becomes babies out of these eggs. It may not be possible that all of them will become babies, but it is possible if you follow the normal procedure of rearing snails. If you are blessed with loamy soil, it is very much possible that all your snails all the eggs will be hatched. But from my own calculation, we have 48 eggs in a year. It is possible out of that 48 that maybe 40 will become baby or 30 will become snail babies. And it's also possible if you rear them well that out of that 30, 20 will grow up to become adult snails. That's why I said it is AM can reproduce itself 20 times in a year. Let us note that. Another attribute of, okay, you can see the picture. Let's go to the next slide. You see a AM laying eggs. On average, they lay like 8, maximum of 8 or minimum of 6 most times. That is what the eggs that, and the eggs of AM it is bigger than the other one. It is bigger than the other one. Okay, let's talk about AA. Acatina. Okay, another point is that AM, before we move to AM is more common, or it is commonly found in southwestern part of our country. I mean, southwestern part of our country, like Osun, Oyo, Ondo, Ekiti. Do you understand? When I say it is more common, it is commonly found here. It does not mean that we can't see it in the east. We have them in the east as well, but they are widely abundant here. AA is widely abundant in the east. Let's get it right, because at times when I was talking with one big man, he wanted to start snail farm. He said he can easily go to maybe Benin to go and carry snail. Automatically, I know that. Automatically, I know that if you go to that place, what you are going to get is second most valued snail, which is AA. Therefore, we need to know it. AM is more. When I say that it is more peculiar to us, it does not mean that we can't see it there or any other part of the country. But in large volumes, we have them here. It is more It is widely abundant in southwestern part of the country. When I say western part of the country, I mean something like somewhere like Osun, Oyo, Ondo, Ekiti, yeah, yes, and and Ogun State as well, and they are widely abundant there. Let's note that because no one of us may want to start saying and say, okay, you know the type that is more or widely available there as well. The second aspect, the second type of snail that we can rear is Acachina. This one is the one as giant snail, tiger snail, and is the second largest in the world, and second most popular breed in Nigeria and other countries. Second largest snails in the world, and second most popular breed in Nigeria. It is more widely abundantly available in Ghana. Let's note it as well. So someone says, it's being born in Ghana. Note that the kind of thing that he's talking about is AA. I can easily buy snails from Ghana now. AA is widely or abundantly available in Ghana and eastern part of our country. I want to go in. Edo, Benin, upward. They were. It is not. It does not mean that we do not have it here, but they have them in larger quantities when compared to what we have here. That is that about AA. It is commonly it is the second most popular breed in Nigeria. AA can be considered a good candidate for snail farming in most areas of West Africa. This thing here, I said, although it requires higher humidity than the two other species and needs a longer growing time to reach adulthood and sexual maturity. That is one of the peculiar characteristics of AA. Another thing that we need to know about AA is that AA lays eggs in large quantities. It can lay like 100 to 200 at a go. And they also lay more than like 6 times in a year. This is what infomercials or those people that are not really practicing snail farming to advertise. If you react within 1 year, you become a millionaire. I say it is not true. It may not true unless you do it right. This is what they used to advertise. Snake will lay. Just imagine what we have on our screen right now. It lays 100 to 200 eggs. How big are those eggs are they going to be? Let us ask ourselves, this tiny snail or this medium-sized snail lay 100 to 200 eggs. It's going to be small. And eggs become babies. You understand? It means that baby is going to be very, very small or very, very tiny. And it will take time for those new babies to become giant or medium-sized snails. Therefore, what I'm trying to point out here is that AA lays a lot of eggs, sure, lays a lot of eggs. And at the same time, it's experience high rate of mortality. I don't know whether I'm communicating. It's what?
Very well, sir.
Okay.
You're communicating. We are
I'm trying to take time to summarize what we need to know about this species. Yeah. Now, we will decide ourselves which one will I start with. Or once we know the peculiar features of them, you understand, from the experience that I've got over there. In fact, let me tell you, before now, I rear AA for experience purpose. Though I made much money from it this year, to be honest. I need to be honest and to be open with us and to be frank. I made much money from it this year because I got to know a supplier that every time he just called me. In fact, last week I sent 270 or more than that to Lagos. And it is almost every week I will have to sell like 500, 200. You understand? Why I run away from it is that it commands high rate of mortality. Do you understand? It command. What I know about AA is that they preserve the natural environment. That is why I said at the commencement of our program that we want to succeed here should make sure that the house is very much close to their natural habitat. Keyword none. That's just what we need to know. Tó bá ṣe súnmọ́ ní gbótó tí ilé wọn yẹn ṣe jọ gbótó náà ni wàhálà èèyàn ṣe ní pọ̀ lórí ìdí. I'm sorry for people that don't understand English. What I'm trying to say here is that AA experience high rate of mortality when we rear them in captivity because they are very much more adaptable to their natural environment. Taking them away to captivities will make them to experience high rate of mortality. But if you can make their house or where you rear them to be very much close to natural habitats, you are good to go. You make a lot of money from it. But it's a very serious tax. Let's talk about the last one, AF. I also read this one for experience purpose. One thing I know about AF is that Acatina fulica, they are the most glutinous species of snail. They eat a lot. Ordinary snails eat when from evening upward, but AF, well, even if you give them food right now, they will eat. When the sun is scorching, they will eat. They are the most glutinous species of snail, and unfortunately for them, they never grow big. Perhaps that is one of the reasons why our mother in the market they use pail, buckets, or Congo to sell it, because they can't be as big as the second as AA, and AA the largest AA cannot be as big as the largest AM. AF, otherwise known as garden snail, they call it city girl or foolish snail. So these are the kind of snails that people pick around. They say, I don't. There are many snails in our environment too. I will just laugh because I know it is not. It does not worth much money in the market. They are also. This is the kind of thing that people pick it whenever it is rainy. They can easily. People usually find them in their own environment. I have once been at Ikorodu. Somebody say, they have plenty snails in their compound. When I go to say, oh, yeah, you have been AF here now. It commands lowest value in the market. They use bucket to sell it. They use bucket. Okay. It's the last snail reaching 20 centimeter in length, occasionally more, with a shell length up to 20 centimeter and a maximum diameter of 12 meters. It has lower economic value compared to AM and AA due to their usual small size. You can see. Let's see the picture of AF. See, I have it on my slide here. You see the picture of AF. These are okay. Yeah, this is the picture of AF. One thing to notice about all these three categories that the AF, the bottom is like pin. Same with AA. The bottom is like pin. They have sharp edge at the bottom of the shell. But once you check AM, the bottom is a bit flat, not that pin. And the way to identify them is that AM commands the highest value. Let me tell you, there are something that people used to also tell us. We also say to them, say, when they go to a particular place, I want to mention place, on the express, they will buy snails. You know what they do? What these people will do is that they will mix the three categories together for you. The one that has more value and the one that does not have much value, they mix it together and they will sell it at the price of the most valuable one. Then when people say, I used to buy snails at the express, they sell it at clinic, I just laugh. Because we are buying the cheapest snails at the price of the scarce one. These are the little things that I'd like to share about the three common species. Once we are familiar with their features, okay, they are abundantly available here as well. It's more peculiar to Kenya. They have it much in Kenya, AA, Ghana, AM, Nigeria, and Cameroon. They are very much available in Nigeria. We have them in large quantities. In case we want to go into exporting and we want to source from other countries, that's why I'm mentioning all this country. AF is more peculiar to Kenya. I will also advise that we should go and watch the videos of this particular girl. I watched this video when I started gathering on the Boston farm. Kenny Conlinga, he rear AF and he makes a lot of money from it. Kenya people know how to rear this AF very well, and that is the species common or widely available in their own country. Okay, let's quickly talk about the next slide. I'm thinking we are still online. I want us to finish on time because sincerely I have a lot of missed call on my phone. I'm just trying to put my phone on DND, do not disturb. Okay, let's talk about the next one. The next topic is to talk about where to house them, snail pen and housing types. If we understand the three system of rearing snails, we should be able to understand the snail pen. The snail house is more peculiar to the system that we adopt. But let's take this point. You should know that snails are good at escaping from enclosures. They are great escapists. They are great escapists. Whatever house that we want to construct for them, what we should have at the back of our mind is that the house should be escape proof. So a priority in setting up a productive snail farming should therefore is to construct escape proof housing. The type of housing employed is a function of fund readily available to the aspiring entrepreneur and his shares of snail farming style. That is all. That is all what we need to know here. We should know that snails they are great escapists. They always look for a way to escape. They will look for a way to escape. There was this particular period I wanted to supply things to my customer in Oshobo, now a commissioner. He, then I gather them together. You know, I have to travel early in the morning. I think the best way is to gather them overnight, put them in a sack, and I just put them in my bedroom. Nobody is using the bedroom except them. Just put them so that this environment will be very cool for them. Unfortunately for me, when I was going out in the morning to pray around 5 a.m. or past 5, they were already in the compound. They removed the windows of the toilets. People, they are very slow, but and at the same time they are very powerful. Most especially in the night, they can remove the ceiling of the house, the roofing of the house. They remove the. I don't know how they did it. They just create openings for them, and they are already in the compound. I was fortunate to be a Muslim. If not, if I happen to sleep a lot, I won't be able to see them on that day. We need to gather them before I was able to do the supply. They are great escapists. Let your snake house be escape proof. And the type of house that you are going to employ, it will depend on your fund or the available fund. What I mean by this one is that if you have your land of your own, you can choose to have extensive snake farming. But if you are not the owner of the house and you want to rear snakes, it may be that you need to choose intensive. Perhaps you put the cage within the compound. I hope you we get the point right.
Ma'am.
And okay, there were various housing types that we can use. We can make use of wooden pen, iron pen, if you decide to choose intensive. If you have the house of our own or the land of our own, we can choose extensive. We can also many style. What I always do here is that personally, I study various. I know. Remember that I told us at the beginning that I study how people used to do their pen. How they do their snake farming. During my study or during my course of research, I got to know they are very housing type. Then I did my own. I designed my own housing. Most times I do design my own housing since I know the characteristics that I have to take into caution. A snail house must be escape proof and convenient for the handlers or whoever wants to rear snails to use. Okay, the snail farm should preferably be located close to the farmer's house for proper monitoring, management, and for security purpose. Snail house can vary depending on the type of snail breeding practice you intend to adopt and the snail state of development and the amount of available space at your disposal. We can rear them at our backyard, sure, but just let's take note of escape proof and the convenience of whoever wants to take care of those snails. Do you understand? Okay. So it could be boxes like what you have on the screen. You can also mix of trench pen. Trench pen is like what those Yalamala used to do. We consult, we raise blocks to maybe 3 coaches or what do they call it, and we create space for uh, free aeration of air so that the air will be able to pass through. And we use nets to be the cover. We have trench pens as well, making use of brick. We call it brick pen. Otherwise, it is otherwise known as brick pen. We have mini padlock pen, iron pen, small one like this. We also have free range like a greenhouse where we plant what the snails will eat. We have them. We should maybe the person doing this schooling should give us the other type. And the next one, or the next thing that we need to know about snake farming, that once we talk about the suitable species, and we talk about how to house them, and then we need to talk about how to give them food, what the snails eat, nutrition management in snake farming. We should note that snails eat a lot, and this is one of the key critical success factor in snake farming. Nutrition management, giving them a lot of food. They eat a lot, sincerely. There's a secret here. The secret here is that if you choose to do buy and sell method, do you understand? Snake can eat 2/3 of their weight in a night. I don't know, or 1/3 or 2/3 of their weight overnight. If now if you want to sell a snake and maybe you require to, if you nurture your snake well, if you feed them well, you can use scale to sell them. You not have any fear to sell them because one just give them food overnight before the person that will buy it will come in the morning. They might have eat the 2/3 of their weight. That's the secret that I need to share with us here. They eat a lot and they can eat 2/3 of their weight within just one night if the environment is conducive for them and favorable to them. Not during
Now,
this harsh
Madam Ismail,
Yes, sir.
We have about 10 minutes to round off so that we don't we move to the next one. We still have question and answer segment. So we
Okay.
appreciate if you can quickly help us wrap up in the next 10 minutes, sir.
Okay. Yes, I will do so. I will do so.
Dr.
Okay. Yeah. Ordinary regarding the nutrition management, snails feed on vegetable leaves and fruits. They feed on vegetable leaves and fruits. I think that I will share a link where you can download the commercial timetable for snails. I think I've drafted a particular commercial timetable for food timetable for snails. But just notice they feed on vegetable, plant, leaves, and fruit. The most if you get that diagram, you'll be able to see what they eat there. The most important food or the most favorite food to them is in terms of fruit, give them pawpaw, followed by watermelon, cucumber, and the likes. I will share the links to download the food timetable for commercial snake farming. Okay. The next one is let's talk about snake breeding and management. Snake breeding, what I actually intend to have here is that how do you select the startup snails? If you want to choose, we have many terminologies to define the startup snails. We have what we call point of play, POL. If you want to choose a point of play, make sure that the weight is around 100 to 125 grams. And I said it is advisable that you start your snail rearing at the beginning of wet season, around March or April, because this is at the period that it's rearing snails will be less challenging then, because snails they love raining period. Make sure that the one that you want to source, you can easily source your snail from maybe snail farmer or local agricultural institute like IRT in Ibadan here, or you can also choose from people that gather from the white diners, not the roadside traders. If there is a point to that, you can buy from the people that pick up from the bush, not people that sell at the roadside, because those ones that they sell at the roadside, they are meant for personal consumption. They are meant for personal consumption. Okay. The next thing what are the things that you need to consider when you want to pick your startup or foundation stock? Make sure that the fleshy part of the snail should be completely filled with shell. Do you understand? And there should not be any nodules on the surface of the snail or the flesh part of the snail, and not the one that have epiphragm on it. And we also select snails with strong shell. Make sure that you check the shell, that there are no damage on the shell. You can also consult experts on snail farming before you choose your startup snail. And when you transport them from one place to another, provided it's going to be from one state to another, let it be early in the morning or in the evening, so that they will not be exposed to too much stress. Okay, let's talk about snail marketing. I've made mention of a particular point about snail marketing before, that demand is already above the supply. Therefore, marketing snail is not the problem. People used to ask, how do you market that? It's not the problem, but you need to determine your target market. I said, once you start rearing during the rainy season, it is good that you sell during the dry season, because snails are very costly then, because there will not be competition from snails that they pick from wilderness. You understand? You'll be able to sell at the high price during the dry season. This year alone, I said the jumbo snails go for like 1,500 or thereabouts. Okay, how do you market? So if you rear snails in large quantities, these people they are your target. They should be your target customer, or they are your customer groups, hotels, restaurants, eateries, food joints. They buy snails. In fact, what they will need from you is that assurance of continuous supply. And how do you do your marketing? Just define the target market. Okay, where do you want to sell your snails to? Out of those, there are many target customers, but out of them, I used to sell to 2 categories or like 3. I've not partial. I once sold snails to an hotel. In fact, I got a what is it called, local purchase. I can't remember the name, from this Sheraton hotel. We asked to supply them snails, but I don't have time to go through the rigor of processing for them. The market is already here. You can choose to sell to hotels. We have more than 1,000 hotels in our country. You can choose to sell to eateries. There was a time I went to a particular eateries in Lagos. I got to know that they have 15 branches, and the one that I said my sales per week is like what is it called? Okay, my son just brought one at Katina that I saw now. This is AF. They go around. Okay, I'm talking about marketing. What I say is that you can choose to sell to eateries. We have more than 1,000 eateries. One eateries sales record with me is above 4 million every month, and I sell to like 3 to 5 eateries. Therefore, the marketing is not the problem, but you have to define your target market. Once you define them, know what the size that they prefer, and you give it to them at a regular interval. That is how to market, and the marketing is very simple. Just check a particular hotel that you want to. Okay, most of us go to hotel. Once they have things on their menu, I boldly say that they will buy from you if you tell them that you get them things. They will buy from you. Okay, let's quickly talk about business of snail farming. What are the business of snail farming? Ordinary, my intention here is to discuss BMC for a snail farming, for a snail farm with us. But you can go through the slide. I said, what do you need to start a commercial snail farming? Know the basis of snail farming, select your site, make sure that you get the required soil, which is loamy soil or the top soil. Construct your snail pen, figure out how to feed them, and then we talk about the business model for a snail farm. I make use of BMC. I think we have the diagram here on the last screen, the last screen. These are they are if you know about BMC, but let me just try to summarize it. BMC is just it's a diagram. I used to call it a back of the envelope business plan. If you're able to get this BMC right, you'll be able to know what it takes to run a profitable commercial snail farm. There are key partners that you can't do without. And I said the key partners in snail families are the following: notable snail farmers. You can't do without them. At least you have to be in their company. You have to relate with them to know what is happening in the market. Weather, plumber, and builders, you need them. They are our key partners in snail, in any commercial snail farming. Fruit seller, they are my key partners. They are our key partners because we have to meet them together to get what the snails is from them. We have nutritionists as well. They give us they can do content marketing about snails, and they can recommend people to come and buy snails from us. Therefore, they are also our key partners. Food regulatory agency, now that they are key partners, you want to process your snail. We have a research institute, they are key partners, and exporters as well. These are the key partners. What are the key activities in snail farming? Daily routine farm practice. You give them food at the normal time, pick up the food remnants, replace the water, and like recording and reporting, training and consultancy, procurement and marketing, and pest and disease control. Key resources, snail pen, delivery bank. I hope if you can have this business model with us, it's going to be very fantastic for us. You can study them. Key resources, what are those things that you need? You need delivery fund if you want to do this in a large form, formulated feed, working capital, farm register, farm tools. Value proposition, what are your value proposition of starting a snail farm? I say my own is nutrition snails for healthy living, income generation, poverty alleviation, we train people, employment generation, we also employ people as well. Channels to reach your target customer. You can go to the home office, delivery, social media marketing, food expos and business fairs, and referrals. Customer segment, I've mentioned that intercontinental hotels, hostels and retailers. I would advise that whoever wants to do this snail farming should go and study this BMC. Sincerely, before now, whoever asked me to do this thing for them, I collect minimum of 10,000 for them from them. I do say this screen alone, I will sell it for 20,000. Because if you understand it well, you know much about snail farming. Okay, what are the customer segments? We have intercontinental hotels, wholesalers and retailers. We sell snails to them as well. People that we see in the market, I sell snails to them at times. I can boldly say it. People that buy that you see at the market, the best thing from us. Exporters, the best thing from us. These are our target customers. Upcoming snail farmers and individuals such as weight watchers. They are your customer segments. My own principle is to nurture a mutually beneficial relationship with them because they are the key consumer of our output. Cost structure. What are the major costs that we need to incur to have a commercial snail farm? The cost of building innovative snail pen, delivery fund, startup finance, land lease, sales and distribution expenses. Then we have snails, snail breeding production, snail food production, and the like. I would like to stop here so as not to take much of our time. The summary of what we are talking about here is that we are talking about the basic aspect of snail farming and how to do the business. Let me stop here if you have so that we can accommodate more questions. For more details, you can just go to my site and you will learn more about it. Or you chat me up on WhatsApp or you send me to our email address, themassivemachine@gmail.com. Can we have do you have questions?
Now, Jazakumullah khairan for that beautiful presentation. I'm sure most of, or if not all, of our participants have quite enjoyed this beautiful delivery. Like I said earlier, you are an astute economist and entrepreneur of great value, and you've actually added part of that value that Allah has bestowed on you to us. We pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to increase you in knowledge and bless you, your business, your family, and everything around you. Now, we want to go to question and answer now, but before the question and answer segment, let me just inform us that our questions should be posted you see our question and answer segment. So use the Q&A section that is above of your screen. You see they post your questions there. Before we have a couple of questions there. In the course of the presentation, we have in our midst the number one citizen of the Muslim Congress in Lagos State, an erudite scholar, a father, and a great leader in person of Alhaj Mikhail Ori Ulowo Animasham, as the Wali of the Muslim Congress in Lagos State. Alan, we welcome you on board, sir. Wali, we would like to hear the testimony from you so that participants will know you are on board. Admin, can you unmute Wali, sir?
He's not online for now. He's not online now.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Now, alhamdulillah. I'm sure he will soon join us. Probably that's a network issue. Now, so we have a couple of questions here, and we have just 20 to 25 minutes left. So I don't know. Unfortunately, we won't be able to take all the questions. And like Malam Ismail has said, that we can always continue the conversation online, either personally to him or to our own social media. I'm going to be reading out the social media platforms of the Congress professional to us before the end of the session. So we want to go to the questions now, but I will just read out a couple of questions. Then before Malam Ismail answer, we'll go to the next item before question and answer, which is a donation, on our list. So the first question I have here is from Malam Sulaiman Rufai. Malam Wulabi, are you on, sir?
Yes, I'm with you, sir.
Okay, now exactly. So he's asking, please, does snail attract snake when you adopt the open system?
No.
Okay.
It's just a myth. Just a false idea that people have about snake. No.
Okay. So that's a direct one. I like that.
No.
Then
sorry,
the next question.
but
Okay.
But I always this is what I always do. Make sure that if you are writing things using pen or cage, what you want to see in the pen are the following: loamy soil, snail, and the dried plantain leaves. You understand? Any other string up there that you see around, remove them. I hope you get my point clear.
Very well, sir.
Okay, that's it. But it's just a myth. It does not attract snakes at all.
Okay. The next I have here is from Ajia Ibatullah Abdul Kabir, and she's saying you mentioned that snails can eat 2/3 of their weight, depending on the environment. Yes, how does the environment or the weather affect the feeding of snails?
Good. Snakes, they like cool environments. They are more used to wet.
Malam Olabi. Okay, I think he's having a bit of network issue there. While we are waiting for him to come back, I think it's high time we go to our next segment so that when he comes on board, we continue our question and answer. At this point, we want to call on the financial manager, group financial manager, that is Malam Shakiruddin Animasham, who is going to be coordinating the donation segment of this webinar. Once he's done, inshallah, we'll come back to the question and answer segment before the vote of thanks. The person that will be doing the vote of thanks for us should be getting ready, and that will be Malam, the vice chairman admin, as Malam Abdulwahid Adebambo. So I want to hand over my microphone to our financial manager, that's Malam Shahin Animasha. Bismillah, sir.
Hello, sir.
Now, okay.
Assalamu alaikum
Hold on for the donation segment. Molabi, please kindly give us a few minutes.
I'm sorry.
No problem, sir. We understand it's a network problem.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. I think I can't remember the last question, sir.
Hello.
No, I'm saying kindly hold on for Malam Shakruddin Animasha. He's just going to coordinate this segment for 5 minutes. Then we'll move
sir.
to the question and answer.
Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
We thank Almighty Allah who has made to this webinar up to this extent that we have been able to take it. And we pray continue to guide us to the end of the webinar. As part of our call on us all towards financial support to the conservation activity in Lagos State in achieving our overall objective of creating values and uplifting potentials. We have a lot of programs that focus on developing the professional spiritually, morally, intellectually, socially, economically, and politically. But as we all know, all these programs, they come with a cost. Next year, we are embarking on a professional forum meeting, a monthly professional forum meeting. This is going to commence in about 5 zones in Lagos State. And it's going to be costing us about 100,000 naira per zone per month. Taking up for the whole year is going to be about 6 million naira per annum. And for also, we're going to be having an offline lecture. It can be a seminar, it can be a workshop, it can be an intellectual gathering to address a socially in the society. It can be a security issue, it can be any type of social media that's going to bring intellectuals to provide solution. And this we have estimated a budget of about 1 million naira per month, and it's about 12 million naira in the year. If you add it to the first one, we are having about 15 million naira. Also maintaining our online presence, our secretary requirements. We have a cost about 2 million naira per month. This comes to about 17 million all added together. And there are some other costs I cannot mention now because of time. So this is why we are calling us all to support us in all we can do so that we'll be able to achieve this objective. No amount is too much for this course, and we pray that Almighty Allah will continue to bless us as we do so. As the Yoruba will say, what they are saying is essence is that in unity we stand, divided we fall. And in the corporate world, we say synergy, the power of synergy, 1 + 1 can be equals to 8, can be equals to 16, and be more than that. So we cannot do it alone. We need your financial support. We need your moral support. But right now, we're calling for your financial support. No amount is too great for this cause. And we pray that Almighty Allah continue to bless you as you donate towards this cause in order for us to achieve our objectives. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakumullah khairan, sir, for that presentation. And as you can all see, we have our account details on the screen at the moment. You can do a direct transfer to us. You can give us checks. You can give us cash. We take cash to the closest members to you. We'll definitely get in touch with you to collect cash. So nothing is too small. Just like our financial manager said, 1 + 1 in business can be equals to 60, can be equals to 100. It depends on how you can manage and multiply it. If you listen to one of the things our facilitator said, he said individual can sell snails at any time and at any price, depending on their choices. So the same way, yeah. So we need your support, moral support, financial support, most importantly. Like he said, Yorùbá òpópó mọ́kà àmọ́rò àwọn èèyàn náà ń túnṣe and nǹkan tó dẹ̀ fi ń túnṣe owó náà ni àti agbára wọn. So we need your support, your financial support most importantly. May Allah continue to reward you all. So make use of our account details on your screen. The name of the account is the Congress Professionals. The bank is First City Monument Bank, and our account number is 655307810. May Allah reward us all. Amen. Now, so we are back to the question and answer. So, Mahmoud Abi, I'm going to continue with the question now. You want me to repeat the last question before the interruption?
Exactly, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so Ajaibatullah Abdul Kadri is asking that you said snails can eat 2/3 of their weight, depending on the environment. So she's asking, how does the environment or the weather affect the feeding of snails?
Oh, okay. To answer the question straight away, snails thrive well in wet environments or when the atmosphere is a bit wet. Therefore, if you want them to eat, you may, even if they want to eat now, you may have to stimulate that environment for them. You wet them often. That is one of the major practices during the dry season in a snail set environment, is that we have to wet our pen to make sure that there is moist. Not that we wet them too much. You understand? They do not like waterlogged environments, and at the same time, they don't like dry environment. If you can just make the environment a bit wet for them, they will eat. They will eat.
Okay, now thank you very much for that. Okay, I think this one is important. I also want to know this, if you'll be willing to share. Malam Ismail Abdul Hafiz is asking, what's the minimum capital?
I hope I found.
Yes, sir.
I hope I've answered that question.
Yes, to a large extent. Yes.
Okay.
Any further inquiry by Ajay Batullah can always be online.
Okay.
So,
can we move to the next question, sir?
Ismail is asking, which I'm also interested in personally, that what's the minimum capital someone can have for farming? That is still farming.
Okay. Let me quickly run. I will do some calculation here. Do I rear snails in a commercial form? And we also advise people to rear snails in commercial form. Like my pen here now. I don't know how to show you the picture. Let me see if I can. Okay, I have a pen. Okay, the pen that was shown in a slide. I don't know whether we can still revisit the slide. That pen alone, it cost me like 120 to 150K to build it.
That's the pen.
Pen. Yes, no, the pen, the iron one. I did it myself.
Okay, go on, sir.
Okay, if you can get it. Okay, it cost like 150,000 to do that. No, the big one to do that pen. And that pen can house like 100 or 1,000 plus snails, depending on their size. Are you with me? The pen I will show under intensive snail farming, they can check that slide. It costs like 120 to 150,000 to do the pen. I'm saying this because it depends on the cost of the material that we use. Okay, it can rear like 1,000 to 2,000 snails at a go. But ordinarily, if you want to start, if you are starting with 500 snails, the medium-sized snail will be around 400 naira each. If you want to rear 500, it's going to cost like 200. With that 150, that's like 350. Then we have to allocate money for feeding them. Like maybe 10,000, maximum of 10,000 each every month to feed them. At least we have to feed them for like 6 months before we can dispose them, so that we can have the snail babies from them as well. It means like with 350,000 naira and using iron pen, you can rear like 500 snails. Do you get my point?
Yes, sir.
That is the easier course that I can recollect now. You can now break it down on the side that you want to rear. If you know that you want to rear 500, less than 500, the cost will not be as much as that. But that pen, it costs 150 to construct it. If you are using 150 to construct it, it can house like 2,000. I will advise if you want to do rearing, you don't use it to rear 2,000 to create space for breeding as well, so that when they have their babies, you have to put them. Rear 500 there. And the cost to get 500 snake for us, I'm speaking right now, maybe point of play will be around 400. Though I would advise that you should not buy your startup snake right now because they are very costly, to be honest with us. You can start at the comment. That's why I always, people that contact me this day, I always tell them, start your snake farming at the commencement of rainy season. But summarily, it costs like 350,000 to rear 500 snakes using standard cage system. That pen alone in Lagos, they construct it at 350,000 each. I asked them, I consult people all over there, but I know how to do it myself. That will be like for 150,000.
Okay.
If you want to use the trenchment that shows on the picture, you can just call the bricklayer, show them the picture, they give you the estimates. The major cost here is the cost of building the pen and the cost of the startup scene. These are the two major costs. You can just do it according to the size or your capability.
Okay.
I hope I answered that question clearly.
Yeah, yes, sir. The conversation will still continue online, like I said earlier. I'm going to give us some of the platforms where we can continue the conversation, and our facilitator as well will be added to that platform. But I'll do that at the end of the Q&A. Now, this question should be related to what your last part of your last statement, which is Malam Yusuf Bolaji Abdulhafiz is asking if he can rear snail in the north where the weather is harsh, and he also wants to know when it's a heavy rainy season where you have erosions and the likes, is it also advisable for us? Can we also rear snail in that period? Especially some of those houses that you showed us.
Directly, I will say yes. You can rear snails anywhere if you can simulate the natural environment. I don't know whether we get the point clear. If we can simulate the natural environment, we can rear it anywhere. But what I will say now, to rear them in the northern part of the country will require much work than to rear them downward here because of their peculiar climate condition over there. When there is too much sun, what we will do naturally is that there should be enough moisture and we wet often. In fact, during dry season like this, I always wet like 2-3 times even before I leave house. If I have to go out, I have to make sure wet early in the morning, like 10 a.m. I will wet again when the environment is not favorable to human being or to us altogether. It means that if you want to rear it in north, what it will require much attention from the snail farmers compared to the kind of attention that we need to rear them here. We can rear them. In fact, the pen that I showed last, when I was talking about integrated snail farming, was built for them in Abuja. We did. I can't remember the name of the village now, but we constructed it there. And the recommendation is, in fact, inside that pen house, there were water there. So once there is it like this, they wet. That is how I can answer that question. You can rear them anywhere if you can simulate the natural environment for them. But if the environment is challenging, it means the snail farmer you have more work to do. They will have more work to do. That is how to answer that question, sir.
Okay, all right. We have about 10 minutes to wrap up the entire webinar. But before then, before the next, which will be just going to be our last question. Our last question will be coming from Madam Yekin Koforola. But before then, I want to inform us that immediately after this webinar, we are going to be creating the TCP Telegram, where we can have all the participants and even more members, to join. We want to encourage all the participants here to download the Telegram app, and try and join. We'll send the link to WhatsApp, and we'll try and send the link to members of this platform as well. Then, like I said earlier, our facilitator will also be a member of all of this platform. We can give us information about him, his email, his phone number for those of us who will be interested. You can always. But before then, I want to plead with us and encourage us to make use of our social media platform very well. Subscribe, like, and follow all our social media pages, and you can keep the interaction on our Twitter. For those of us who are active on Twitter, our Twitter handle is Lagos TCP. Lagos TCP. Our Facebook address is Lagos TCP as well. That's our Facebook name. Our LinkedIn, the same thing, Lagos TCP. And we are also on Instagram, which is where we are for the last. That's Lagos underscore TCP. So every other one, the Twitter, the Facebook, the LinkedIn is Lagos TCP, except for Instagram, which is Lagos underscore TCP. Now, for the last question, before we go to the rounding up, okay. Now the question is gone now. There are more questions coming, but inshallah we'll attend to all on the Telegram and other.
So I've tried to answer some questions that I can write.
Yeah. Yes.
I've written some so that we reduce numbers of questions to be answered.
Okay. A lot of people are asking for the PowerPoint presentation and the lecture. Like we said, it's being recorded. You can always go back to our Facebook page. It will be posted there automatically, so you can always listen to the lecture again on our Facebook page, which is Lagos TCP. Okay, I think at this point I can't get the question again, but at this point I want us to. Okay, I want to do justice by rounding up. Okay, so Ajab Ibatullah Bukabu is asking if there's need for us to change the soil over time. Is there need for us to change the soil over time?
Yes, he's right. There is a need to change the soil over time. And part of our daily work in snail farming that we remove the remnant of the food and the snail droppings. And by doing that, we have to scrap the surface of the soil. The quantity of soil will be reduced. But over time, like maybe once in every 3 months, if you do commercial snail farming, it is good that you replace your soil with another one, or you add new one to them. But there is a way of doing that. You have to take caution of the snail eggs so that you not destroy them. But if you rear them in small scale, you can do that almost maybe once every month. But if you do it in a commercial scale, it requires a lot of work. I do my own once in every 3 months. And you need to be very, very careful when you want to change the soil. Make sure that you check, you look out for eggs and the babies as well, because most times they are buried in the soil. Do that every 3 months if you rear snails in large scale.
Okay, Jazakumullah khairan for that. We want to thank you specially once again for creating time for us. We know you are a very big person. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you and bless you for spending this huge, valuable time with us. But before you leave, just quickly do the next, which is the vote of thanks. The vote of thanks is going to be done by our Vice Chairman Admin, Malam Abdulwahid Adebamo. Abdulwahid, you have the floor, sir.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
We give thanks to Almighty Allah who has made today a reality. We planned this thing for quite a while, and we never knew that Allah will also grant us. We thank Him for that. A lot of people have also having that opportunity of staying till this moment, but they had no such opportunity did not come to them. Well, we thank Allah for this opportunity, for allowing us to also listen to this amiable lecturer. In fact, the lecture has been a very wonderful one, very insightful, and we can't thank you enough. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will thank you for us, because you have done a very good job, to us, and the impacting skills that you have also pushed to people is something that we'll take away from here. We pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to strengthen you in knowledge, strengthen your family, and may Allah continue to keep you in the stead of Islam. And we also thank our participants who have taken their time to listen to our program. We appreciate you all. Just like the coordinator has also said, the anchor has said, that we just take advantage of all the platforms that we have. we need to interact with ourselves as professionals. Knowledge is something that you cannot page. You've got to allow it to flow. The more it flows, the better it goes into circulation. And that's the essence of having this platform. We thank you and we pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will continue to be with all of you, your family, your businesses, in all spheres of life. And we continue to pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us in the fold of Islam till the day of Qiyamah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khairan for that. The next will be the closing prayer from the TCP coordinator of Ikorodu Zone, Malam Abdulkabir Gbadebo. But before then, I want to apologize to some of us who we can't take our questions. Like I said, we can't take all the questions. We have over 20 questions, and we had just about 15 minutes to attend to all. So to round up the program, so please, apology. We'll continue the conversation online, inshallah. Just download, for those of us who do not have Telegram, download the Telegram app and join us on Telegram. You can ask all the questions, even all questions not necessarily related to snail farming. We are going to attend to them. So the closing prayer, inshallah, will be done by Madam Abdulkabir Gbadebo, the TCP coordinator, Ikorodu Zone. Bye.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alhamdulillah for this another successful webinar. We say big jazakumullah khairan to our erudite scholars. May Almighty Allah increase in knowledge for this impactful session. And we say jazakumullah khairan to everybody who has participated on this program today. May Almighty Allah bless our businesses and make it sufficient for us in this world. ربنا تقبل منا انك انت السميع العليم انك تواب رحيم اللهم اغفر لي وارحمني وعافني وارزقني اللهم قبل ما بعد الموت ربنا اشف عذاب احنا المؤمنين يا حسيس يا غفار يا رب العالمين سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين صلوا على النبي الكريم.
Jazakumullah khairan. Thanks to everybody who has been part of this glorious webinar. And 3 things I'm taking out here significantly: Akatina, Fulika, and Akatina. I'm gonna do a lot of research on those things.
Inshallah.
Walasri. You can unmute now. Let's do it jointly.
إلى الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت ونستغفرك ونتوب إليك سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون السلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين صلوا على النبي المصطفى
صلى الله عليه وسلم.
جزاكم الله خيرا كثيرا. Till next month, inshallah.